Welcome to the Mind Myself podcast. I'm Esther, and it is my pleasure to be bringing you information about healthcare approaches, health issues, and people's health journey stories, all from the complementary, holistic, and integrative perspectives, helping you become your own best health advocate and helping you make your own informed choices because you matter. Welcome to Mind Myself Conversations with E. I'm Esther, founder and CEO of Mind Myself. And it is my great pleasure to again welcome Jennifer Lynn to our podcast. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you so much. It's such a privilege and an honor to be here again today. Thank you.
Wonderful. Please tell us a little bit about who you are, your credentials, and why you love what you do.
So I'm a spiritual consultant. I'm a shamanic healer, a shamanic druid priestess. I teach Celtic mysticism, and I'm a minister of the Circle of the Sacred Earth, which is a church that fosters principles of animism and mysticism. And I'm also a Chinese medicine practitioner. I'm an acupuncturist, which means I'm an L.Ac, a licensed acupuncturist, and I'm a certified Chinese herbalist as well, Dipl CH. And I've been in practice for 30 years. I'm also an energy healer, a Reiki master in 2 different systems. And I've been in practice for 30 years. I still just can't believe that. That's still amazing to me, a bit of a miracle.
What a wealth of wisdom you bring to the table. And I know that you're going to talk more about why you love what you do. But today we're going to talk about a spiritual view of menopause. Many of the people coming to the Mind Myself platform come because they're looking for answers about their hormonal change and what's going on, and they just don't understand. And how do they deal with this? And you're talking about embracing the crone and a spiritual view of menopause. Let's dive right into that topic and get going.
Absolutely. So we're looking here at feminine menopause, the menopause that women go through, right? There is actually really a masculine menopause as well, but it's a little bit different. So let's just stay in the female zone for today. Men, I'm happy to talk about your journey too at another time. So as a woman, we have 3 different aspects metaphysically, right? You can look at menopause absolutely as a hormone issue, right? This is the end of your menstrual cycle years, that's shutting down, and all of the chemical shifts that happen within you. That is certainly one part of it. But you are a being, you are an energetic being, you are a vibrational being. You are not just chemicals, you are also a mind and a soul in addition to that body. And as a transitional space, this place affects you on all 3 levels, mind, body, and soul, right? So you can look at it just through the lens of body, through your chemicals, but there's also those 2 others, mind and soul, that are out there working with you, mind and spirit. So let's take a look at those today and help give you some more tools to begin to embrace this process, right? As a woman, you have 3 phases in your life. You have maiden, you have mother, and you have crone. I know that C word, right? Exactly.
No, embracing the crone. Embracing the crone. That's me. Yes.
The crone gets a really bad rap in today's society, right? She's not this ugly hag. She's actually a wise woman. This is a woman who has come through not only her original maidenly growth, she has stepped into her destiny as her menstrual cycle began, and she stepped into the mother phase, the creator phase of her life, right? That space where she was giving, where she was providing, where she was nurturing, where she was transcending. And now that space has come to a close, and she's stepping into her wise woman space. For most women who have, especially for women who have children, the crone space is the first time that a woman is actually a woman and on her own. As a child, she lives through the guidance of her parents. As a mother, she lives through the needs of her family. Those are primary, right? Especially when she's a parent. But as a crone, her kids are grown. They've moved on, and she now comes to a space that is just for her. And this is the place where the crone, that space of eldership, of the wisdom as you bring together all of the knowledge of everything that you've survived and endured and accomplished, and even the things that you've wanted to accomplish but you haven't yet, that still sing to you and still call you forward. They now sing just for you. You finally have the space to explore who you are. And these physiological changes that happen, they are a reflection of this transformation within you.
So you're talking about maiden, mother, crone. Love that. What about those of us, and that would be me included, who don't have children? So we've never officially been a mother. That doesn't mean we don't have nurturing tendencies, but we haven't been a mother specifically.
You haven't been a biological mother to someone,
right?
But you've been a mother in many ways. Mothering is something that is beyond just children, just the birthing of children. Whether you've birthed a business, mind myself, whether you've birthed a way of being, whether it's been caring for family and friends, there are many, many ways to be a mother. I'm not someone who I did not choose to have children. I'm not a biological mother, but in my practice, I have helped countless women have children. I have helped nurture and guide people through their journeys. These are all mothering energies, right? It is about all of the aspects of the mother, not just that space of giving birth.
Absolutely. And you also mentioned something about the physical symptoms. They're just one part of it. Correct. But I think you have an interesting take on some of those physical symptoms that we experience pre-menopause, maybe during, and then post. Love to hear more about that.
Yes. So that is part of the transition. This is part of your body and your mind, body, soul, having a conversation with you, saying, look, we're making a change. We're shedding the skin of the mother. My allies like to talk about it this way. You're leaving the house of the mother and you're entering the house of the crone, and that requires a change of clothing, right? The way the energy of the universe flows through you as a crone is different than the way it flows through you as a mother. But first, you have to shed that clothing of the mother that you've been wearing. And so there are different symptoms that we feel, like those beautiful hot flashes that come, right? Woo! All of a sudden, you're having your own personal summer. One way to look at these are power surges. This is new power, new energy that is starting to open within you. But the channels that they run through your body, right? We look at energy, we look at ourselves as an energetic being that has these rivers, these conduits, these channels that allow the energy of us and that nourishes us and helps us, animates us, and energizes and invigorates us, right? That they move through these channels. Well, there are some channels that can be closed until the time you enter the crone's house, right? And your own croneship. And as you step into that crone space, those channels have to open. And you have to let that power start to run through. Have you ever driven with your parking brake on?
I have on very rare occasions, and it's not a good thing. And you can tell really quickly.
Yeah, and you get this burning smell and you're like, something's not right.
Yeah.
And you stop and you realize, oh, I had my parking brake on. And you let the parking brake off, and what happens? Poof, a big thing of smoke, right? It's the same thing. That energy wants to move. It doesn't get to move, so it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and all of a sudden the channel goes, yeah, okay, I'll open for you. It's like a fire, that like smoke and heat that rises up through you. These are power surges. They're helping their energy that wants to move in a new way or in a new direction or through new channels. And so one of the ways of working with these is recognizing that this is what this is in these moments, and starting to ask, where does the energy of you need to shift differently? How can you welcome that new flow? How can you welcome that new alignment of you? It's kind of like an upgrade to your system, your computer, right?
Wow, what a reframe. What a reframe.
Sorry?
What a reframe. It's an upgrade to your system. And I want to talk about some of the symptoms a little bit more too, but carry on. This is great. An upgrade to your system.
It's an upgrade to your system. You've got new things that you can access, new power, new wisdom, new energy that's rising through you. But first, you've got to figure out how to let it flow. You've got to figure out how to navigate and move, and where did they put this app, and now where is that function, right? if you can acknowledge those hot flashes as the life force of you trying to move in a new way, if you can kind of step back and ask it, what do I need to shift in order to allow you to flow more comfortably? Those hot flashes will settle down a lot more quickly.
Interesting. And there are some physical things we can do. I know this, but I had a super, I'm so fortunate. I think maybe I needed some of this shakeup, but I went through menopause with very few symptoms at all. I had some mild warm flashes sometimes, and that was about it. And I did not wrestle like so many women wrestle, and they struggle and they soak their sheets at night and they're so uncomfortable. So I love the reframe. And I want to be sure to include in the conversation that it's not that you have to endure this. There are some ways that you can mitigate some of these things and help them flow through you, as you're saying, reframe them and flow through you. But if you're in real agony and angst, then you can get some help for it too.
Absolutely. There's all kinds of help out there. I mean, there's hormonal Western care that offers hormone replacement therapy, but you also have Chinese medicine and herbal products. There's yoga that helps to, again, open those channels, shift those channels, allow those energies to balance.
There's phototherapy.
Exactly. There's phototherapy. There's all kinds of absolutely meditation. I mean, there's a huge selection out there. But if you can look at this as an upgrade, this is really what this is. You are moving into a new phase of living, a new phase of you, and your system has to be upgraded and the energies have to move differently. So Esther, that's great. You didn't have any power searches, but that's probably because you were comfortable with your own power. This moving into Croneship and welcoming
I'll take that.
eldership was not about power for you, right? So for the women who have the hot flashes, the other question for you is, where is it that you've been shutting down your own power? Right? Or letting your power serve only others. And so how do you now need to come into a different relationship with your power? Welcome your own power, welcome your own voice, right? And allow that power to flow through you. Night sweats are the flip side of this. Often these, power surges sometimes will come with these night sweats. In one way to look at these night sweats is that these are the unshed tears of your mother self, right? Part of being a mother is being there and standing next to each other, offering comfort, even when those that you love are in a difficult space. There is no place in that moment to shed tears, right? You have to keep going. You have to keep the family together. You have to support the family, the business, whatever it is, your life, you have to keep going, right? It's kind of like the warrior on the field. There's no time for grieving. It's not until the battle is over and you step out that you can actually finally release these tears. So another way of when these sweats come, when you're waking up at night and you're like, oh my gosh, this is awful. Ask yourself, what is the grief that I need to let go of? And even give yourself space, if you can, to cry. Even if you don't know why you're crying, if you don't know what the tears are for, let them come. Allow the unshed grief of your mother self, of your mother age, of your mother experiences to release in that moment. As you allow those tears to come, as you allow that energy to flow, the sweats will settle down. And again, it may be something that you'll need to do time and time and time again. Maybe you have a lot of grief that you've borne the burden of, right? That you've carried yourself and others through, that now you need to let it go. And sometimes we also, as women, will touch into the grief of the mothers before us, our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, right? Sometimes as we're moving into this eldership, that wisdom comes to us too. And there can be some shedding of that as well. So even if you don't think you had a terribly difficult time during the mother phase of your life, even if you don't feel like there's unshed grief, cry if those sweats are coming. Let it go and let your body release those unshed tears.
I think this is such a powerful conversation about grief, because and to your point, some people may not excuse me, some people may not feel that that they have some grief, but I suspect that we all do at some level or another. There are times when we've been dismissed or ignored, or haven't got those promotions, or have been mocked or ridiculed, or haven't been supported, or just haven't quite got there. We've wanted something, or we've had a dream and it's not been fulfilled. I think there are so many things that we've absorbed over time that there is grief about. And so having this time reframed as a shedding, as a releasing of grief, wow, that is so powerful. That's just amazing.
And as a mother, whether it's for your own biological children or for your business or for whatever, however it is that you've manifested the mother in your life, there are always times in the mother phase. This is part of her strength. This is part of what she teaches, is where other priorities come first. You tuck yourself back, you get up, you strap on your boots, you put on your big girl pants, my grandmother would say. You put on your big girl pants and you keep going, right? Because that's what's needed in that moment. And then when you get to the crone, to that transitional space of the crone, like you've forgotten all about all those times that you did that, and the heartache that brought you, like the sorrow that caused you, because in that moment you couldn't release, you couldn't exhale the way you needed to. So these night sweats are spaces where you get to let that go. And again, if you can work with it consciously, it moves the process much more quickly for you.
And what are some other strategies? What are some strategies? You've touched on a couple, but some strategies for embracing the crone and jumping into this new phase of life with joy and empowerment, as opposed to this youth-oriented culture of North America that says you have to be young, you have to look young. How do we go, oh, right, I'm in this phase now? What are some strategies for us?
Well, the first thing is just remembering that the crone is beautiful. She is powerful, right? This is a woman who has survived and survived and survived. She has an incredible amount of wisdom for her. And our society really doesn't have a good image of the crone, right? The elders get kind of tossed away. So how do you find an image of the crone that speaks to you? I really encourage you, go online, type in crone, type in elder, and find some images of a crone, of women, elder women, women in their eldership that really speak to you, that remind you that this is a place of power, right? That this is a beautiful space of wisdom, of knowledge. Put them around your house. I even encourage you to create an altar for yourself, even if you're not like the creating altar kind. An altar is a space that's designated. It doesn't have to be, it could just be like a little table or even a shelf on a bookcase, but it's dedicated to you and your croneship in this case, right? In celebrating your new life, your upgrade to your elder, to your wise woman years, to your crone face.
What would you put on an altar like that? Just some suggestions.
So one of the things is I would find an image of an elder, of a crone that you go, yeah, she's got it. That's the crone I want to be, and put it on there, right? I would put a candle on there. Not that it has to be lit, but it's something that when you come and spend time with it, you can light it. I would also find other images that reflect to you the wise woman that you want to become, or that you feel yourself becoming. What are the things, the wisdom that your soul, that you have learned throughout this lifetime, right? Is it, for me, I might put herbs on there, as I've been an herbalist for 20 some years, right? Are there stones? Is it stones that are important to you? Maybe you paint, and maybe there is an image of the crone that you can put on there, right? There is whatever it is that is the wisdom that is there within you. Start to look for it and start to find images of that and add those to your altar each time. This is meant to be a celebration of all the knowledge, all the beauty, all the skills, all the power that flows through you and that is now yours to offer freely into the world as a wise woman.
Wow, and all the experience. We have lived long. By the time we get to be a crone, yes, we have lived. Mm-hmm. And that's the expression of it. I love it. Are there any final words that you want to share with our people today, Jennifer? This has been such an affirming conversation, and I've appreciated it deeply. Final words.
So my final words would be, find the wise woman within you. This is an upgrade. This is a space, and it's a place where you finally get to manifest all of the richness that has been within you, that has been cultivating, that has been simmering in that beautiful cauldron of you up until this moment through this lifetime. Let it rise to the surface. Look for her in the mirror. Talk to her every day. Say hi to her, tell her about your day, and ask her, what is it that she wants you to shine into the world this day? How is it that you can step into that Crone space? Because your wisdom is needed. You are here for a purpose, right here, right now. And that wisdom is needed, and that Crone face needs to shine in her light into the world.
I love that. Shine. And we say at Mind Myself, because you matter. Thank you so much, Jennifer Lynn, for being with us today. It has been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Esther. And thank you to everyone who's been watching, and to Mind Myself. Blessings.
Thank you for being with us at the Mind Myself podcast today. We know that time is precious, and you've spent some of your valuable time with us. We're grateful. If you would like to reach out to our guests directly, the information is below. And if you would like more from Mind Myself, that information is also below. Please visit our website and check out all the information about the different complementary, holistic, and integrative healthcare approaches, information about health issues, more podcasts, tons of blogs, and we even have a community page for you where you could reach out and tell your story safely, or you could ask questions, and perhaps somebody else in the world is going through something similar to you. In any case, we're so glad you're with us, and we're doing this because you matter.